Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Dear Love Podcast. You can catch us at iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube, Listen Notes, Google Music, all that good stuff. You already know how this goes. We've been doing this a while now since we're on the big episode 50. Let's get right into it. Could you imagine being an actor? Could you imagine some of the roles you would play? If I had to choose a role, I think I would be more so like try to be a motivational speaker in a movie or something. And they'd think I was trash because that'd probably be like the only type of roles that I would land or try to land. Because if you really think about it, we act like we good at everything, but we ain't good at everything. I could just imagine myself trying to play in like an action role. Or I mean, like, like some type of action film. And they say, all right, and go. And I just sit back. Like, say you're supposed to save the girl. Or let's say you do save the girl in this particular scene. And you're supposed to say something like, if I have to come back again, it's going to be over with for you. Can you imagine saying that in like a cool Arnold Schwarzenegger type feel? Like, you got to imagine when they wrote his script and said, hey, you're going to say, I'll be back. I wonder how many times he had to really sit back and like do that role. So I would sit back and say, if I have to come back. I don't even remember what I just said. Look. And it's so corny. It's like, why do I got to put the voice on with it? If I have to come back, things will never be the same again. Like, yeah, I would suck at an acting role. I think I would be more of a motivational speaker, and I would try to get my point across that way. I sit them down and say, well, hey, listen, yeah, well, the things that you can do is, yeah, I probably suck at that role too. All right, I guess I'm not cut out for the acting job. It's official. I guess I gave it a shot. But it's just so much beauty and so much, I can't even think of the word, in acting. We act every day in a sense, but it's just a feeling. I would love to be an actor or try to act in, some things, even if it's something that I shoot, just something to act in, to get that feeling of being someone else, since we try to be others anyway, right? We watch the love and hip hop shows and try to emulate that stuff in our everyday life. So why not try to do an acting gig? And I read a very important, it was a meme in a sense. Let me see if I could pull it up and read it to you guys. It kind of made a lot of sense to me. All right. I definitely had to punch in and find it. But it says, if you could run a gang, you could run a company. If you can write a rap, you can write a book. If you could film a street fight, you can shoot a movie. Don't just take over the block. Take over the world. Stop selling yourself short. That was like very, very important to me and to us. I'm an everyday person, but reading that was like very inspiring to me. So I try to use that now that I've seen that. Well, since I've seen it, I try to use that in like my everyday stuff. So it's nothing wrong with tackling all the things that you want to try to be or the stuff that you want to try to do in your life. Can't let nobody hold us back. We just got to get to it. And that's really what I mean by even with the acting. Do you think the people who are actors and actresses today, they probably didn't see themselves doing that, or they probably didn't think that they would be that great? But, everybody starts somewhere. That's why they always say, hey, you got to crawl before you can walk. You know how hard walking was before we learned? So we got to keep that same mentality and just keep pushing. Dear Love, episode 50. We act so much that it starts to take over our regular self. For instance, I remember, I have a lot of times where I went out with people, and not just females, I'm saying just going out with friends or kicking it, where you had to play an acting job. It was kind of like play the acting job, or get in trouble, which sometimes the acting job still led to you getting in trouble. So it's like, why act anyway, right? So I remember one time I went over my friends and I believe I think I was on punishment. And I know it sound crazy now that I'm grown. It's like I was on punishment. So, I wasn't supposed to leave the house or anything. So of course I snuck out. I hope my mom doesn't hear this. Yeah, I snuck out the house and you know, us as kids growing up, we feel like we got all the answers. We know exactly how to leave the door cracked just a little bit. And we're so smart that we don't even think of the dumb decisions that we're making. So now I didn't figured out every like step to take in the house without making like the wood make a noise, or you know all the little spots in your house that make noises when you walk on it. So it's like I didn't figure out a way to tiptoe around all of these different things. And you leave the door cracked. So I remember one time I snuck out. I was playing at my friend's house and doing all of those things. And it's like you having so much fun that you really do forget what time it is. Well, I'm lying. You don't forget what time it is. You always know what time it is. You just know you ain't ready to go back. So we playing the game. And it's not like I'm even doing anything crazy. We playing the game. He just got the new Street Fighter that came out and we're having fun. So we're playing the game. It's late now. Again, I didn't snuck out. It's real when you get home and now the door is closed. It actually makes you start thinking like, wait, did I close it by mistake? So again, in your brain, it moves 1,000 times per second. It's like, okay, this door is closed, so I have to ring the doorbell or I have to knock because I definitely don't have a key to the house. And it's like, oh shit. So that whole time you're trying to really get your thoughts together. You're sitting back and saying, okay, I'm going to say this happened. I'm going to say this. I can't say like, oh, well, grandma was in trouble. I had to run out. Like, no. So you really don't have no choice but to be honest. So when she comes to the door, you're hoping she doesn't come with the belt. And of course she comes with the belt. And she like, where did you go? I went down the street. Now I tell my son all the time, take your hands out your mouth. Stop like fiddling your fingers. He does that when he knows he's in trouble. And now that I think about it, I used to do that. So I'm just sitting there and I think I had like, what did I have? A belt on myself, I believe. So my mom told me to take my belt off too. So I'm like, damn, like, so it's kind of like I took my little whooping that day. And I actually started to think about it like, well, hell, if all it's going to take is me getting a whooping, then hell, I sneak out all the time. Of course, I didn't make that a habit, but I should have always seen that I was a bad actor. I couldn't even think of a scene for that moment. And that's what I got to start doing, thinking of different scenes for the moment. Let's say you're in a classroom and your phone goes off. You're not supposed to have a phone. The easiest thing was, oh, that was such and such phone. It's like, no, you got to really think of a lie. And people over the years have really got this acting thing together. How many times have we said, hey, girl, call my job in about 15 minutes. Tell them it's a family emergency, girl, so we can get out of here and go to the mall. It's like, man, you just directed and produced a whole situation. Get out there and go make something happen. Like, how about you go produce something and direct it and make money now instead of trying to leave the money, which is your job? Our kids are even trying to be actors without us actually knowing all of the things that they do. And again, you had your acting job as a young one, so you can kind of see all of the little things like sneaking on the phone at night or trying to, hide and put drinks up and toys and certain stuff you're not supposed to do. You make sure you do it. And it's so crazy because now you can look at, let's say you have people assigned to your YouTube or Netflix or whatever it is, and you can kind of look and see what the kids are watching now. Hell, even with the new app, I don't know if it's a new app, but like you can kind of see how your kid is doing in school, how they're acting in the classrooms, and we didn't have that. That's a part where I feel like we had the advantage because you couldn't look into no classroom when we were in class. You had to take our word for it, or the teacher would call you. And you know our favorite line when the teacher called, oh, they lying. That ain't happened. Or you do things like try to unplug the phone at a certain time, or you know that they're going to leave a voicemail before your parents get home, so you try to hurry up and erase the voicemail, and they don't know what happened until they finally go to the parent-teacher conference, and now you there looking crazy, hiding in the corner. But with these, we didn't, like, again, we didn't have those situations. Even with the progress reports and report cards, we had to bring them home. You know, hey, take this home to your parents. And I don't know why that was ever in place like that, because now you could just go online and look at a kid's progress report. Or, you know, they send them in the mail. Well, the mail, they used to do things like that too. And we would get to the mail first, or meet the mail person at the door and hide that one or rip that one up. But now you can go online and get everything. So acting is at an all-time high. You got to really learn how to act now, because you'll be in trouble. That's why I say acting is really taking over the real us. You know, because without the acting, man, I did a lot of free acting my whole life. I stayed in trouble, man. But you got to keep those acting gigs on deck. Hey, today I'm going to be a crybaby. You know, tomorrow I'll be a intellectual person. I'm not saying you can't be that, but it's like, man, you got to play these different roles for whatever the situation is, because you want to stay out of trouble, don't you? And then the trump card is, even when you are in trouble, still act. Act your way out of the trouble. Right before your mom hits you with that belt, say, wait, whoa, ma. It wasn't me. And you might get lucky and they might say, then who was it? And yeah, that's all I have. I don't know where you go past that. Because if you don't have a twin or something, then you're kind of on your own. I can't tell you what to do about that one. But what I can say is, whatever you're into in this world, it don't have to be acting, but whatever you into, just know you can always elevate that and turn it into something else. Again, we make the 15-second or 1 minute long, you know, Instagram videos, things like that. Add 59 more minutes onto that and put out a show, or, you know, find some content and get it going. Your money is out here. You know, they like to say it's a lot of money out here. I always say, no, it's a lot of your money out here. It's all yours. The thing is, are you going to claim it or not? Dear love, T. Shaw, I'm out of here.